The cameras flashed. The crowd froze. And just like that, Hollywood had a new obsession.
Yeah, and honestly, the off-screen reality we're looking at today is way more intense than any soap opera script.
Oh, absolutely. Welcome to Starscope Report. Join Jordan and Jamie as they uncover Hollywood drama, music industry shakeups, and viral influencer scandals. From red carpet surprises to social media controversies, we dive deep into the stories behind the fame.
And today, we are doing a serious deep dive into a story that really shook the daytime television world. We're asking the question, why Kirsten Storms really lost her job.
Right, because if you look at the stack of sources we have, we're pulling from Soap Opera Digest, TMZ, Michael Fairman TV, and Us Weekly, all from around late July 2026. There is so much more to this than just a contract dispute.
So much more. I mean, we're talking about a beloved television character suddenly vanishing from the screen, leaving, millions of fans just totally confused.
Exactly. Our mission today is to unpack this sudden, permanent-seeming exit of the General Hospital star who played Maxie Jones. We're going to explore this really intense collision of child stardom, severe health issues, and some pretty shocking legal battles that led to her departure.
And I think it's important to say right up front, even if you aren't a regular soap opera viewer, you should care about this. This story is just a fascinating look at the very real, very human cost of lifelong fame.
Yeah, it shows how off-screen crises can just completely rewrite a multi-million-dollar production. So let's just jump right into the event itself.
Let's do it.
Okay, so it's Thursday, July 23rd, 2026. Viewers tune into General Hospital expecting the usual drama, but instead they get this bizarre casual mention.
Right, the character Cody is just talking to Molly, and he drops this exposition out of nowhere.
Right. He just casually mentions that Damien Spinelli got, quote, an amazing job offer. And because of that, Spinelli, Maxie, and their 3 kids, Georgie, Bailey, and James, are moving to Australia.
Australia, just like that.
Just like that. He says they're itching to get out of Port Charles. And then we find out Maxie also just sells her deception shares to Michael Corinthos, completely off-screen.
Which is, I mean, you can't understate how big of a deal this is. Maxie Jones isn't just some background character who can move away. She was literally born on screen in 1990.
Yeah, she's a total legacy character.
Exactly. And longtime fans will remember the iconic 1994 storyline. Little Maxie had Kawasaki disease, desperately needed a heart transplant, and her cousin BJ was in a horrific bus crash and left brain dead.
Oh man, I remember hearing about that. That was a huge cultural moment.
It was massive. BJ's parents donated her heart to save Maxie. It's one of the most famous storylines in the history of daytime TV. And Kirsten Storms took over that role in 2005 and played her for 2 decades.
Which is why this feels so wrong. Wait, they didn't even give a 20-year legacy character an on-screen goodbye.
None at all.
Why? Just a casual mention by another character. I mean, that feels almost disrespectful to the audience. It's like tearing out the load-bearing foundation of a house and just slapping some wallpaper over the cracks and pretending it's fine.
I totally get why it feels dismissive, but we have to look at the soap opera machine. It's relentless. They film 80 to 100 pages of script a day?
Wow.
Yeah, and sometimes they shoot weeks in advance. If an actor suddenly cannot or will not come to set, the production can't just pause. A halt costs hundreds of thousands of dollars a day.
Right, so they're just doing narrative triage, just trying to stop the bleeding on the page so they can hit their episode quotas.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And in early 2026, the writers had just brought Maxie out of a coma to explain a previous absence by Kirsten. They couldn't just put her back in a coma.
Yeah, that would be ridiculous even for a soap.
Exactly. So a sudden move to Australia is abrupt, but it's a clean break. It writes off her and the immediate family without her having to film a single new scene.
But wait till you hear what came next. Because to understand why the writers were backed into this corner, we have to rewind the timeline a bit.
Yeah, the foundation actually started showing cracks much earlier.
Right, back in the summer of 2025. That's when Kirsten Storms actually moved out of Los Angeles and relocated to Tennessee.
And this wasn't just, buying a vacation home. This was tied heavily to her health and wanting to completely change her lifestyle.
Her health history is honestly terrifying. She had brain surgery in 2021. And then, according to her own very candid social media posts, doctors discovered a new brain aneurysm in January 2025.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And she's a single mom to a 12-year-old daughter, Harper. Getting an aneurysm diagnosis, that's basically a ticking clock in your head. That forces you to reevaluate everything.
It fundamentally rewrites your priorities, and you could see that happening in real time. In July 2026, she debuted this totally new look on Instagram, black hair, bangs, and she wrote this deeply reflective post about her life.
Yeah, she pointed out that she started acting in elementary school. I mean, she was the star of Disney's Xenon movies. She was on Days of Our Lives.
A total staple for millennials.
Completely. And it makes me think about child stardom. It's like being put on a fast-moving treadmill before you even know how to walk.
That's a great way to put it.
She said LA never felt like her real home, and she just wanted a better quality of life for her and her daughter in Tennessee. But I have a question about this.
Go for it.
If she just wanted a quieter life in Tennessee and she was dealing with all these health issues, couldn't this show just, I don't know, accommodate her remotely? Or give her an extended break like they've done before?
You would think so, right? But that's where this story takes a really sharp turn.
And if you're loving these Hollywood twists so far, make sure you subscribe because we've got even crazier stories ahead, and this one is about to get really dark.
Yeah, it really does. The story shifts here from a lifestyle change to a genuine personal crisis, because we have to talk about the messy legal battle with her ex-husband, Brandon Barash.
All right, they divorced back in 2016 but had been co-parenting. And before we dive into this part, I just want to make this super clear to you listening. We are looking at two highly contested, legally opposed narratives here.
Yeah.
We are not taking sides.
Exactly. We are just impartially reporting what's in the court documents and the public statements from TMZ and Us Weekly, because this dispute is the direct catalyst for her exit from the show.
Right. So let's start with Brandon Barash's claims.
According to the filings, in December 2025, Barash filed for an emergency restraining order. He claimed that Kirsten was having a, quote, mental health crisis with delusions and hallucinations.
Whoa.
Yeah, and he stated he feared for their daughter's well-being. And, a judge granted that order in April 2026, which gave him custody and gave Kirsten supervised visits.
Right, and family courts do not just hand those emergency orders out lightly. But on the flip side, Kirsten completely disputes this entire narrative.
She does. Strongly.
In June 2026, she put out a statement claiming her apartment in Tennessee was broken into. She said her lock was damaged while she was out of town for medical appointments.
That's scary enough on its own.
But it gets worse. She claims her Wi-Fi and her cell phone were hacked by her ex. She actually reported this to the police, and she said her safety was in a, quote, dangerous position.
The hacking element is just terrifying. I mean, if someone compromises your home router, they basically have a back door to your entire life.
Exactly. And this was the final straw. In that same June 2026 statement, she explicitly said she couldn't comfortably return to LA to work. She called it an eye-opening experience about the downside of my profession.
Which brings us to this incredibly tough ethical dilemma for the network.
Right. I mean, think about it. When two ex-spouses have such wildly different narratives, one claiming severe mental health delusions and the other claiming break-ins and cyber hacking, how does a massive television network handle that without accidentally taking a side?
From a corporate HR standpoint, they don't handle it. They remove themselves entirely.
Just back away slowly.
Right. They treat it like a fire in a building. They don't try to investigate who started the fire. They just shut the fire doors to protect the rest of the building.
Wow. Okay. So writing her off to Australia is the fire door.
Exactly. If she's publicly saying she doesn't feel safe returning to set, the network's liability goes through the roof. If they force her back and something happens, they're sued. If they fire her outright while she claims she's a victim, that's a wrongful termination nightmare.
So Australia is the safest legal maneuver. It gives her the space she asked for, keeps the production moving, and keeps ABC neutral.
But as you mentioned earlier with the load-bearing wall analogy, slamming that fire door caused massive collateral damage to the show's ecosystem.
Huge damage. By sending Maxie away, the show also lost Spinelli, and they lost all three kids. It just abruptly halted so many storylines.
Yeah, like that fan-favorite connection between Cody and James. The writers spent months building that up, and it just vanished. Poof.
Poof. Gone. And later in the episode, we'll talk about the shocking twist in the ratings that nobody saw coming. But first, let's talk about the fan fallout, because people are furious.
Oh, the audience reaction is incredibly divided. According to Soap Opera Digest, a huge chunk of fans are demanding a recast. They want to save the fictional family.
Because characters like Mac and Felicia Maxie's parents, they need their daughter and their grandkids to anchor their own scenes.
Right. And recasting is totally normal in soaps, even for this specific role. Jen Lilly stepped in for a year back in 2011, and Nicole Paggi temp recasted the role from 2023 to 2025.
Right, so the audience is used to it. But I also see a lot of fans saying, no, don't recast. Hold the role open for Kirsten so she has a job to come back to when she heals.
Yeah, there's a lot of loyalty there.
But it's like, I look at recasting a beloved actor like getting a new step-parent. It takes a really long time for the family, meaning the audience, to accept them. So is the network protecting Kirsten's legacy by not replacing her? Or are they actually hurting the show by nuking an entire fictional family just to avoid a recast?
It's a high-stakes waiting game. Keeping them in Australia leaves the door open. But if this drags on for years, they'll have to recast to save the structural integrity of the show.
But here's the brutal irony of the Hollywood machine. Despite all this behind-the-scenes tragedy, General Hospital actually hit a 15-week ratings high in July 2026.
Over 2 million viewers.
Yeah, because the writers just threw everything they had at the wall. They brought in comedian John Oliver to play a villain named Z.
Which is hilarious.
Right. And they killed off another character to start a mystery plot. The machine just keeps churning.
It really proves that the audience's grief over losing a legacy character can just be paved over with shiny new drama. The show literally goes on.
It's kind of bleak, honestly. It really strips away the illusion of what we see on our screens. These actors providing our daily entertainment, they're real people. They sometimes have to step away just to survive.
Yeah, they're dealing with real-world terrors, medical diagnoses, custody disputes, stalking fears. It's a stark reminder to practice some empathy for public figures. We only see tiny glimpses of their private battles.
Absolutely. Empathy is so crucial. And stay tuned and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what's coming next, because this leads me to a final, really provocative thought for you to mull over.
Lay it on me.
With the way technology is evolving, it is so easy to track, hack, and expose public figures now.
Too easy.
Right. The barrier between a celebrity's career and their private sanctuary is basically gone. Do you think we'll start seeing more lifelong entertainers just completely abandoning their lucrative careers to buy back their basic privacy?
I mean, if the digital intrusions keep escalating, absolutely. The cost of visibility is getting way too high.
It makes you wonder how many other performers are quietly suffocating under that pressure right now. Because sometimes when a star vanishes from the screen, they're not ever planning on coming back.
It's a really sobering reality.
It really is. Well, you've been listening to Starscope Report, where Jordan and Jamie uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.